of the views I had about marriage when I got married was that marriage is meant for companionship. But when I got married, I discovered I was always quarreling with my husband, especially during our first few months of marriage. Whenever he gets back home so late at night, it gets me angry because I didn't imagine that I will be staying at home so lonely at such hours of the night. But as our marriage journey continued, I realized all he was doing was just for the good of our home, and that all I have to do was just to acclimatize to the new situation. In this video, I interviewed three couples with similar experience, wide cultural difference, years of marriage experiences, and they'll be sharing their philosophies about marriage, the oversight they discovered in their marriages, and how they were able to make up for these oversights. I welcome you back to my channel, Jean Say Matters with Right. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, don't forget to click on the subscription button and turn on your notification button for more exciting videos.
So my name is Folabolaji, and as you can see, I have my wife here, but I presently live at West Lafayette, Indiana, United States of America. I'm a Nigerian. I was born and raised in Oyo State, Nigeria. Information technology engineer by profession, and that is a brief about myself for now.
My name is David. I'm from America. I've been living in Japan for 12 years now. And this is my wife, Mari. She's Japanese.
Dr. and Mrs. Oladushi. I'm John. My wife is Antonia.
We've been married for 9.5 years. By December 4th of this year, it will be 10th year of our marriage.
We've been married for 9 years.
I've been married for 18 years now.
Wow.
Well, there are several viewpoints, but I think one major thing that stood like a foundation for marriage for me is that every marriage can survive. That's a viewpoint that I held. If the husband and the wife, it takes two to tango, right? If both of them are ready to make marriage survive, it can. Because I didn't grow up having my dad wake up with us on Monday morning. I had a weekend daddy. So I know daddy comes on Friday evening and leaves immediately after service on Sunday. But I realized that through my mom, I related well with my mom. So I hear different stories of people going through different things in their marriage. And they are still married. And eventually later I realized their marriage still survives, sort of. So I had that viewpoint that if both people are ready to work, that the marriage can survive. Then another thing is, I always hear people say, oh, marriage is not easy. Marriage is not easy. And I just decided in my heart and continue to pray to God that I want my marriage to be easy. So that's one other viewpoint that stood at the foundation for me, even before going into any relationship at all.
My viewpoint before getting married was, well, I'm Christian, so I'm in the church. In the church life, we usually open our homes for like meetings and gatherings. And as a single person, I can go to meetings, but it's hard. And I can have meetings in my home also, but mainly just for like the brothers. But if I was married, then I can have my own home and I can open it for like group gatherings and for like shepherding and just creating an environment where, young people or older ones can come and we can meet together, and like a home environment that's not in the church. Get married to someone who loves the Lord, who loves God, and who would be willing to open our home for the saints, for the church life.
結婚した人と同じ家に帰るのが楽しいなって、そういう 結婚のイメージしかなかったです。
Concept of getting married was I would marry someone who I loved, and we would move into a house together, and this was my concept of marriage.
Getting married to someone that shares the same faith with you, knowing that when you get married, you will have to start learning a lot of things about each other.
My viewpoint about marriage under normal circumstances should be forever. There could be some other people in other circumstances that may require their marriage to stop at some point. But my preparation is I don't want my marriage to ever end as long as my partner is alive. So I need to understand the kind of partner I'm going into a relationship with. So emotionally, I try to make sure that I don't even fall in love with somebody that I'm not sure I want to settle with. So that is my viewpoint about marriage. So I guard my emotional behavior in such a way that it is focused on her. My behaviors were focused on her. And psychologically, I was taking her into my future. I was not thinking, what if she doesn't work out well after marriage? Do I have another lady somewhere that can become my side so that I will keep myself in shape? No. So my financial plan, my career plan, everything was going towards having her on mind.
For me, I think the first started with making a choice. And one of the preparations I made in my heart is God chooses for people, God speaks to you, God leads you to the person He wants you to get married to. But you must also love this person, because there are times that love will be like the only anchor for that relationship, even when you have hurt God. So I know that the person I'm going to get married to was someone I really loved, and someone that I'm sure that God is leading me to this person. Then another kind of preparation that my viewpoint provided for me was I read a lot of marriage books, even books that I was not matured for, like like books that were for people who are already in marriage. So it took me to a point that in my imagination, I was married to whoever God was going to choose for me, that kind of a thing. And I paint different scenarios of different things I read in books, how I'm going to behave in that kind of scenario.
So for me, like I said, my goal was to have the meeting in my home. And as long as my wife loved the Lord and was open to the saints and open to the brothers and sisters, I said, Amen, Lord. Well, besides those conditions, I was happy with whatever the Lord was willing to provide for me.
私は結婚したら人生のゴールは結婚することだって思ってたから。
She thought that the goal of her living was to get married.
だから結婚後の生活のことを考えてなくて、結婚がゴールだと思ってたから、早く結婚したいなと思ってました。
She didn't really, so because she thought the goal of her life was to get married, she didn't really think about what the marriage life would entail. She just wanted to get married quickly.
There was no oversight. The first thing I need to mention is the fact that until we got married, there has not been any time that probably she had to sleep over at my house. And I don't have a reason to sleep over at her house. So that was clear as from the beginning. And there was nothing like I want to text her house, maybe sexually, to see if she's fit for me or something of that nature. And there's nothing like she's texting me out or something of that nature. And to be even sincere with you, both of us were not active until we got married. So on that part, there was no oversight. On some other things, like maybe financial management, home management, cooking, and all of those things, there was no oversight. Actually, when we are talking about marriage, it appears to different people different ways. But the bedrock of marriage is love. Do you love this person? If you love him or if you love her, then you must be able to love her with all the weaknesses. By the time that you are thinking about, if she's not doing this right, then I don't like her, then you are becoming selfish. That is not true love. So there was nothing that I discovered about her after getting married that is a shock to me. I was well prepared for whatsoever I'm going to meet in marriage. Really, really prepared. She mentioned reading books. I also read books. I read books on compatibility. I read books on prayer. I read books on different kind of things people have experienced in marriage, infidelity, how they handle it, deceit, infatuation, different kind of things. So I was really prepared for what I was going into. So there was nothing oversight. And I did not think there was something I did not know about. Because when we were trying to form this relationship, what thing I told her is, I don't want a shock and I don't want drama. So let me know everything about you, and anything you need to know about me, I will tell you. And if you have any question, ask me. So I asked her every details about her, asked her about her siblings, asked her about her mom, about her dad, about her distant relatives, and relationship. And I asked her if she had had any other relationship before. I asked her everything. So I asked those questions. It's not as if love covered my eyes and I'm now pretending I don't want her to feel offended if I ask this kind of question. I asked every detail thing, such that there is nothing an outsider can tell me about her that will be like, oh, I don't know, that kind of thing. So I asked her and she was able to tell me everything I should know, not hiding anything. And I was able to tell her everything she should know. So there is nothing you can tell my wife today that she'll be like, what? I did not know that happened. That she cannot be shocked. And even me, I believe I cannot be shocked.
For me, after getting married, when it was just the two of us, everything was fine. Of course, there might be some like misunderstandings and some arguments. But then I brought that up mainly because our cultures are different, and like at the beginning, like she didn't speak so much English and I didn't speak so much Japanese. So when we would argue, she'd say like a lot of stuff in Japanese and I wouldn't understand. And the same is true when I get angry. I'd say something in English and she wouldn't understand. And I think that helped because when we like tried to like figure out, what is she saying or what I was saying, like we kind of like calmed down. And then when that happened, then like I could really understand like why was she angry, or she would understand why I was angry. And I think that helped a lot in the marriage at the beginning.
最初は喧嘩が多かったのはいろんなことでぶつかったからです。
At the beginning, we had many differences, so we would argue a lot.
私が一番違いがあるなと思ったのは、
and what she thought the biggest difference was.
私はすごく小さな違いをいくつも見つけて、これが違うね、あれが違うねって言ったんだけど、
she would see many problems with like all these small things that she would get angry about.
でも彼はアメリカでいろんな文化のある中で育って違いがあるのが普通っていう状況で育ったんで。
But because I was American and I was raised in a culture where everybody is already different and everybody's thinking is already different. When she mentioned all these little things to me, my concept was that's just normal.
だからそれ違って当たり前でしょっていう、その違って当たり前でしょっていうのが一番私にとって結婚生活でカルチャーショックでした。
Because so from my point of view that it's everything of course everything is different was normal was my thinking. This was a big shock to her in the marriage life.
でもその考えが分かったおかげでその後は違って当たり前なんだなって自分自身も考えれるようになりました。
But then after she realized that that's the way my thinking is, that it's of course it's different because we're all different. This like opened up her thinking a little bit more to be more accepting about like, oh, the differences are just, that's normal.
あとこの考えは私の結婚生活をすごく助けました。
So when she realized this, it helped her marriage life a lot.
We have to stay away from, from ourselves for some time. When I got into it, so the view I had was that you always be together. But the different thing, what really happened for me was different. So I had different view from what happened when I got into the marriage.
To put some more light into what she's saying, because where I work, and where I live, different cities apart, and it's not the university where I work is far away from where my home is. It looks like I became a weekend husband. That's what he's trying to talk about.
There are phases to life, there are phases to marriage too. There are things that we know before we got married, and immediately after we got married, there are things we were able to cope with very fast. Like talking about after chores, it doesn't handle them, it doesn't attend to them. Like myself, let me make myself an example. I don't really do the washing of plates, washing of clothes, though I've done them in my life. But my wife knows that I don't like doing those things. And those are part of the things that she prepared herself for, that she's going to fill that role, doing all the house chores and me helping out when it is necessary. But doing house chores when you are 2 is different from doing house chores when you became 3, having a child, when you become 2, when you become 5. So I cannot just say, you know me before you marry me. I cannot do all those things. And I will not be expecting her to be carrying 2 kids, attending to this one, attending to that one, and I will sit down and be watching TV or reading newspaper, or say I have school work to do, or I have one official work to do. No. Things have to move at that point. Things have to change. There has to be some adjustment. And even if I'm over relaxed, I've forgotten that, so many pressure are on her, the agreement was just call my attention that, hey, this thing is getting too much, you need to step in here. And when she called my attention to it, then my brain respects that, yes, we have to do something about it. And I begin to start doing things that will make life comfortable for all of us. So what I'm saying is you must have been prepared for something. But when you get into the reality, it may become bigger than what you thought you were prepared for. You might have known her for many years. She might have known him for many years. But there are some situations that will happen that another side of him will come out. So when it comes out, it should not be more like a shock, but it should be more like, I was not prepared for this. How do I handle it now? Let's see how we can forge ahead with it. Maybe something happened at her work and she broke down in tears and scattered everything and she's not ready to cook and she's not ready. It has not happened before. I'm just using it as an illustration. That I just saw another side of her that, I need to come in at this point. I need to pamper her more and let her know that, no, this thing is not a big deal. So there are situations that we will not prepare for. You have not had children before. You don't know how things will change in the house. Like myself, I like things organized, especially the sitting room and the bedroom and the kitchen. I like all those things. Probably because I've seen my father being serious about those things, maintaining. In fact, my father was the one that was washing the toilet, keeping the toilet tidy when we were growing up. So I like all those things. So when I see such things, I may not be happy. Knowing how well as somebody that is tidy is not different when you have kids that can scatter everything. So when you come home as a father and you meet the whole house in disarray, there could be some kind of anger in you that, what is this nonsense? And all this kind of thing. But then you need to quickly remember, we have kids now. My wife was never like this. She will never allow the house to be scattered on her own. But if the children are doing it, she can only rearrange. She cannot stop it. So those are the things I'm talking about in terms of adjustment. You cannot ever be prepared for every situation that will come up in the marriage, either in terms of behavior or in terms of reaction. to things. But you should be prepared that no matter what comes first, you should be prepared to handle other things. And you should be able to reach a common ground where you will agree on strange things or things that look strange that are coming up in marriage.
生活を続けていくのはすごく人の力では難しいと思います。
For the marriage life to continue with using our man's physical power, it's really difficult.
だから日本でも、アメリカもそうだけど、すごく離婚が多いでしょ。
In America or in Japan, there's many divorces, right?
でも私たちはクリスチャンだから離婚はありません。
Because we're a Christian, there's no divorce, right?
細かいことだけど、私はね、
Like just the small details.
デビットに洗濯物を表にして洗ってほしかったです。
For me, she wants to wash the clothes. She wants to wash the clothes like normally.
でもデビットは反対に脱いで裏の方を洗いたいんですね。体についてる。
But when I take off my clothes and put it in the laundry basket, I put them inside out because I just take off my clothes like that after work.
で私が洗濯物を畳むときにいちいち裏返してでタンスにしまうのがすごく嫌だった。
And so for her, after washing the clothes, she has to like turn all the clothes inside out and fold it and put it into the drawer, and she doesn't like doing that.
何回言ってもそれは治らなかった。
And she told me many times, stop putting your clothes inside out into the laundry basket. But no matter how many times she told me, it doesn't change.
僕はインサイド洗いたいからねって言ってたから。
So because I told her I want to wash the inside part, not the outside.
しょうがないよね、違うから。だから私は。
And she's like, okay, we can't change. I mean, we can't change it.
だからもう私はその裏のまま畳んで、デビットは着るときに元に戻してで着るっていうことで落ち着いた。
So kind of like a compromise, she just washed the clothes inside out and then she folds it inside out, and then whenever I take the clothes and put them on, I just turn them inside out again and put it on regularly, and that was okay for her.
だから小さなことだけど、
this is like a small thing.
結婚生活でいろんなことがあるでしょ。
But in the marriage life, there's many things like this.
このことね、続けていくのすごく難しいです。
And in the marriage life, this will just it won't end. There will always be these like little problems.
結婚してから結婚はゴールでなかったって分かった。
And then she realized, marriage wasn't the goal. After experiencing.
そうだから結婚してから結婚生活を続けていくのってすごく難しいし、だからやっぱり自分の力じゃできないなって。
So she realized that the marriage wasn't the goal, but the marriage life is after getting married, the marriage life still continues, and that to live the marriage life with our own power is really difficult.
だからみんな結婚生活続けててすごく素晴らしいよ。
That's why she thought like people have been married for many years is so wonderful.
そう、私たちはクリスチャンだから同じ信仰があって同じ死を持ってる内側に。
And because we're a Christian, we all have the same life. We have the same God.
困った時は主に祈るし。
And then when we're in a difficult situation, we just pray to the Lord.
祈ったら主に照らされて謝ったりして。
And then when we pray to the Lord will enlighten us, and then we can apologize to one another.
これで結婚生活を続けていっています。
And then this is the way we continue the marriage life.
この主イエス持っていなかったら結婚生活絶対できてないです。
If we don't have the Lord, then she can't have the marriage life.
We knew that there are challenges in marriage, and I would say that I was looking for someone that's gonna be like not just a wife, but a business partner, a career partner, and some other things like that. Normally in marriage, everybody must understand that marriage is a lifetime school. It's a lifetime school. Somebody said that marriage is an institution that you get the certificate before you enter the institution, and then you start. You now begin to learn when you enter by the time you enter the institution. In other words, by the time you are formally married, the day you are married, you are given the certificate, but you're actually entering an institution that for which certificate you have been given. So you now start learning all your life, as a married person. So that is just the truth. Once we see marriage like that, once people see marriage like that, then it would be a very wonderful experience, because when something happens the way you didn't expect it, you just say, oh, it's one other thing I have to learn. So, okay, how do we handle this? And you have to adjust, even in personal characters and traits. You don't always get 100% what kind of traits you want in a man or a woman that you married, but you have to take it like, no, I cannot. This I'm already into this. It's a lifetime thing. So I think nothing should make people to think of divorce, except if the marriage is violent, if there is domestic violence, and then one party is beating the other one or something like that. That shouldn't even happen, because if people know that they are in an institution where they have to learn every day, they must see the mistake the other person makes, or whatever they see in the other person. They must see it as part of their learning, and then they must be prepared to adjust along, as they move on.
Aside spiritually, it's God's grace. I really had to be trusting and really resting on God and getting many things. Then, of course, reading a lot of books and then listening to, in fact, taking counsel. In fact, I found out that I just started learning from sources, many, I don't want to call them mentors. I just started reading of books and learning from people's experiences. And those things have really built me up so far. But ultimately, prayer, I was just trusting in God to make me strong. And really, that has really helped me thus far.
Thank you very much for watching this video till the end. Kindly tell me your views about marriage in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. See you in my next video.